All right, guys, we're back in the dumpster again. You can see we have some new faces. We have Mason here. So this is Mason. He started with us, 2 weeks ago? So he's running trucks and working in the yard with us. We did torched all day yesterday, so it was a good day. So we got things rolling. So yeah, I guess to start off, you see we have two unfamiliar faces to the dumpster. We have Ron and then Mike Sahd. So we always talk about how Dan and Mike are the third generation owners, and these guys are the second. So I don't know. What did you guys think coming into this? What did you guys think when we asked you about this? Not too sure what it was going to be.
You go first. You don't want me to say.
No. I don't know. I think it's a good thing, but it's a waste. It's a good thing.
Your generation really didn't grow up with the videos and all that stuff.
No, our generation was more quiet. We didn't even have names on the trucks.
Yeah.
We started our business that way.
Yeah.
So you feel like you got you have a better understanding of it now than you used to, or you
Understanding of what?
like videos and social media and all of that stuff?
Yeah, as long as you guys do it, you do it.
Yeah. Cool.
That's good. Well, we came up with some questions. Let's see. All right. Well, yeah, we said about how you guys are the second generation.
Yeah.
So your guys' dads kind of started everything. So we're just really thankful for you guys. You guys are kind of the reason we kept it going, and we have it here. I don't know. I was just coming up with some stuff. Do you remember your first day working in the yard?
We were probably.
I was the youngest. I was 10. But you can't write that down. You have to put 16.
We lived here. We were this business wasn't here. It was down Locust Street.
Yeah. So could you just give kind of
it was part of our family.
We all lived together.
We all lived together. We
The same
moved.
house.
Our parents moved from Lebanon country and migrated here, and then started a business on Locust Street with antiques and scrap and selling whatever they could. And as kids, we grew up there and played together, and then we also worked together. We had to move stuff and unload some trucks as kids. So maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, we were doing that. So I guess in the early 50s, late 40s, they bought this property and moved out here. Mike's dad was in the military, and when he got out, he came with Dad, and they developed the business here at this location, and it's been thriving here ever since.
They actually started from nothing and built it up. When we came in, we were young. Ron's dad passed away in '72, and 9-10 months later, my dad passed away. So I was 22, 23, Ron was 24. We didn't know much about the business because we weren't in the office. We just did what they said as a labor. We had a lot. We didn't even know what a vacation was. We worked 10, 12 hours a day to build it. The whole roads were all dirt. The equipment was 20, 30 years old. We started putting money back into the business, buying equipment, fixing the roads, building it up to where it's at. Not now. It wasn't like it was then. We didn't start from scratch. They put the seed down and we planted it and made it a better corporation. And now the third generation, we actually gave them what we busted our butt for, worked our butt off, gave them what they have now.
Yeah.
And hopefully they take it from there. And I'm proud of both of the boys, Dan and Michael. They're doing a good job. They're keeping the operation running. When I got out, when I was 60, 13 years ago, I had that gut feeling of too many third generations just let it go because they were handling what they have. But the boys, I'm very proud of what they're doing. They're keeping the business running.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's cool to think of the old days of it, I'd say. For sure. Hopefully.
A lot of change.
We're only 20 now, so it's kind of crazy to think if we were in your shoes. don't know, what would we do if
Did you
Well,
did
that's
you
something
guys
for you to answer.
you guys like
grow
kind
up
of,
quick.
do you guys like regret? I don't know if regret's the right word, but I don't know if we were working like 12 hours a day and really busting our butts. I don't know if I would look at it the same as I do right now, just working like 8 hours and stuff. Do you regret working that much, or are you happy you put in that time to get the business where it is?
I
feel like you
think
missed
I
out
can
on
talk
anything?
for Mike. I think none of us would do anything different because of the way we were brought up. I mean, we would come home from school and work.
Yeah.
Saturdays we would work. So I mean, it was in our family, and that's how our parents prospered. They handed that down to us, and I could see that being handed down to the other generation. I'm not saying I have to give all the credit for all the things we did to our employees all through the years. I know you guys are the newest employees, but we've had hundreds and hundreds of dedicated employees who came here 10, 12, 14 years, some longer, that built this company up. I mean, they had that
Something about like Merv, he was kind of like he worked with you a lot.
You did.
Where's Mike?
Where's
Yeah,
the
right. Merv was the kind of guy where I had to go visit customers. So I would tell Merv what needs to be done for the day, and I felt comfortable leaving, knowing he knew what to do. And then I would come back, obviously, to check before the end of the day to make sure it was done.
That's why we're Ben tries to build us up to learn everything, so he can go out and visit customers and he feels good that we run him for sure.
That's a big thing to visit the customers. I was always a diehard of doing that because I didn't want to call on the phone and say, is there any problems? It's better to meet them face to face, take them a treat, shirt, a hat, or whatever. You get a good relationship with the customers, you're not going to lose them.
That's what one of my questions when you kind of answered that was with
What we learned was business is all about people. People and connections is a really big thing. How important was that?
That's very important. If you get a relationship with a customer and they trust you, you have to give them your trust. And you trust them, they will never go to another scrap yard. They will stay with you. And that's probably one of the most important things about being in business. And we used to let them know what we're selling for and let them see the numbers so they trust you that you're not trying to get them at all to try to take the rate off or try to drop the price on.
I guess there's like a lot that changed in the business, but that's one thing that Dan always did. He wants to always keep the prices down and stuff.
That's good.
So it's
They also taught us that like a lot of the times when you meet a new customer, you don't even have to talk about like what you guys do, like scrap. Like even if you just connect on like a personal level, that would be better.
It is.
Connection.
It is.
It's all about trust and working with our relationship.
you guys are saying like how you're really proud of Michael and Dan. Did you guys, well, for both of you, did you foresee Dan running things here, and did you see Mike? Or not?
I can't say. I offered. Well, I have 4 boys, and I offered. Well, we made them work here, so we did the same work ethic that our fathers taught us, and then they all went on their own ways, and one by one, Dan came back, and then Tim came back, and Michael came back from what they were doing, what they chose to do, but we didn't force any of them, and they came back, and we were just glad that another generation, because that's what I think our forefathers saw too. They wanted it to pass. They didn't work. I mean, they unfortunately both passed early. They didn't really reap any benefits, other than because they just passed it down. And we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to see that happen. I had a brother who passed away early, who was with Mike and I in the very beginning of AIM, and So he was a very important part of this too. And Frank, who's not here today, but he was all the four of us got that center second generation going and developed ways. I mean, we went from hand loading everything to it's in our forefathers' equipment with minimal equipment to upgrading equipment, roll-offs, and all that during our generation. And I'm sure Dan and Mike have thoughts on how to move it forward too, because basically from the beginning of our dad starting the business to right now, we don't do anything different. We buy metal, we cut it, bale it, shear it,
Same principles.
and sell it. We don't make anything here. It's just how you go through that process, either with, and a lot of times it comes to equipment. But I mean, it's not like anything's changed in 70 years.
So you guys ever tried to like, what you were saying about?
Well, we were kind of expected to work here. That's what our fathers expected us to do. We didn't force any of our children. Michael started here when he was 12. He worked with God Makes You So Uncle Wayne for years. And then when he was 16, he decided not to work here. I did not force him. I didn't expect him. It was their decision to come in later on in life, which I'm proud that they did, to keep the third generation going to the business guy.
That's awesome.
You guys ever like? You said like the process is kind of the same. Did you ever try to do like maybe think of any other business ideas, or were you always just in the?
Well, we did have other business ideas. We were in the foundry business at one time. We ventured into other facets and the railroad. We expanded. We partnered with other companies in doing projects during our time here. We manufactured our own containers. So here he is. So yeah, I mean, yes, we did. Is the answer to that question.
Do you guys remember or have any like funny memories or moments that come to your mind working here together?
Plenty of them. Funny as kids, we used to play, back when we came into the business, the company, back then, the generation, they would recycle rags, rope, newspapers, cardboard, bags, tires, inner tubes. So all that had a recyclable end. So when the market dropped out of each one of those, we were especially stuck with maybe 5 acres of our property of tires.
So you used to just recycle all that stuff here?
Everything.
But at that
I mean, it's
time,
not like,
we had to, our fathers paid for the tires,
yeah.
but we had to pay to get rid of them. And that,
Yeah.
because of environmental.
Yeah.
So it costed us.
But you said about a funny incident. One comes to my mind, which I just visited a college friend of mine. He remembers Barry Sellers, his sister. He reminded us we used to play football on top of the tire ponds. And do you ever try to run on a tire pond? Your knees and shins would be all cut up. I mean, we did things. We had a lot of fun as kids living. Who wouldn't have fun in the junkyard?
Yeah.
So that's some of the great memories I have, for sure.
You guys had some dogs here back in the day too? Some junkyard dogs?
Always
Uh-huh.
German Shepherds.
King.
That's what we need.
King's on the front of your shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the mascot.
He's the mascot.
I think we should definitely get another dog here.
What you got?
I have a question. You said about, I know it's like 22 acres here now, and you said you had 5 acres of like tire. Now, was it always, when you bought this property, was it always 22 acres, or did it keep expanding throughout the years, or did it start
It
small?
wasn't always. This was actually a quarry, as you can see some of the cliffs back here. And they expanded. They had one business next to them that had a used car parts, Rouse's. So Yeah, and expanded. We, during our generation, got rid of the cars, got rid of the cardboard, concentrated solely on metals. Our parents did everything. So that's how we trimmed it down, because that's what we could handle. We thought we were best qualified for that. There are businesses that take cardboard, which we deal with, and newspaper, and those things that we chose not to. Automobiles, we got rid of how many acres of them, like they were back there.
6, 7 acres, and they were all classic cars.
Yeah, all gone. But we chose not to. So that's how we got here. That's not to say this generation could look for new ventures into doing things.
Yeah.
Along with some leadership from you guys.
Yep, that's what Dan's always stressing, that for sure. Just kind of keep your mind open. Whenever,
Right.
You never know what could be the next big thing, or
Right.
next person you meet that has a good idea. They want to partner with you. We went to so me and Carrie went to Israel in Vegas and stuff. I know you guys went to that a couple times.
Yeah.
I know Todd also went to the thing in Louisville. But I don't know. I like the scrap people that we meet. We made a lot of good connections. So you guys find that too. Like all the people in the industry, like with different guys, they're cool people. I think.
Yeah, everyone, some of them are your competitors, we know, and some were, friendly to us and allies. That's why we chose not to advertise and do that, because we fit in a class where we didn't compete. A lot of the companies compete for material. We had a niche where we knew what we had to make profit-wise, so we tried to stay in that niche. And like Mike said, it was all about the same thing that you're talking about, relationships. We would visit customers, and we get new customers, as you see that your generation's doing that now too.
Do you feel like there was more competition, like back when you guys were running things, than there is now, or has it increased?
It's more because there were many more yards. There was 3 yards in this little town competing.
Okay.
Lancaster had probably 10.
So the bigger guys.
Now, since consolidation happened, a lot of them went. Now they went together, and you could probably name in this whole area, you'd be lucky to name 5 companies.
CSR was the first to join together.
Yeah.
And then other people seeing that, and they start bonding together to make one big company instead of 4 little ones.
You guys always had the mindset that you wanted to stay separate and never.
We did.
It's if you can't figure it out by now, by all this is a family business. Okay, it's not something that and as our parents taught us, and hopefully we taught our generation, that it's about doing the right thing and taking care of your family.
Sometimes bigger is not better.
Did you guys ever look into getting a second yard or anything?
Did they ever what?
Did you ever look into getting like a second yard? A second piece?
Yeah, we did.
Once or twice we explored it and found that my brother passed away, and it was putting too much stress on the 3 of us, Mike, Frank, and I. And I think right after that was when Dan came in, and after that, Mike came in. But yeah, we looked at, there was 2 in particular we looked at, chose not to.
What's the hardest part of running in a family business?
Well, I gotta tell you, it's like a marriage. We grew up like brothers, and Frank, like a brother, who may God rest his soul. If you have an argument, you gotta forget it in 2 minutes, or you'll never make it. Just like if any of you are married, if you have an argument, just forget it, walk away, and the very next minute everything's good. You don't stand in a room. Everybody had our own little section. We knew what we were supposed to do. We did our own thing. Frank took care of a lot of the yard. I took care of some, the garage, the truck, buying the equipment. Ron did the office. We got along. at the end of the day, we gave each other a hug and we left.
Yeah.
But we might have butted heads during that day, but you just gotta forget it. That's family business is tough when you're working with relatives.
You guys, I see there's two sides to a yard. Just two, I think. Maybe if I'm wrong, like tell me. One's operations, which is your bread and butter, and the other one is the other side of the business, which is going to cultivate customers and doing that. So, and even as early as our parents, I could see his dad was Uncle Charlie took care of the whole yard. And he had another brother, Joe, who for a short time took care of the metal room. And Dad would be out buying and everything. And we tried to adopt that same thinking because it was successful for them, and we did it too. And Brother Wayne, who passed, was in charge of the non-ferrous. Mike took care of all foundry. Frank took care of the mill steel. And Mike took care of the usables and that too. And developing the yard too. So operations, and then the other part. And operations is where the bottom line is at the end of the day. How efficient are you in operating your business is the key.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we have to like process the metal so we could have people going out to get more business, but
Yeah.
we can't bring the metal in if we don't have it processed.
If you don't process it, and if you don't process it in an efficient manner, so that you can make at the end of the plus what you pay and what you sell for isn't even.
Yeah.
So you have to make that all work. And we were blessed to have leadership that taught us that. Hopefully we did it, and now this generation's carrying it on and has the ability to expand on it.
Yeah, kind of pivoting off that, going through some challenges and working through stuff. So in a short time here, we got to see a jump in the price of copper and almost hit $5. What was your biggest price change in copper, and how did you guys handle that back in
We
the day?
weren't looking at the money, so.
But it's happened to you with steel. Mike was in charge of the steel. Steel went crazy too. You have to understand one thing in this business. I know you keep a close eye on the market daily, but you have to understand you're going to have jumps and you're going to have losses and things. And the main thing is, if you're doing it long term, you have to ride out the steady wave. We had a jump where copper, we were paying 50 cents a pound for copper back in the 70s. It went to $4 a pound
In the 70s? Or?
in the 70s.
That was the highest price given.
Highest.
Our theory always was buy low, sell when it's up. Get as much stuff as you can when it's up. It's like a stock market. It can drop any given day. So when the price goes up, you get rid of all you can. When the price goes down, you can afford to, if you can afford, to store it until it goes up. It's going to go up. It could be 5 years, it could be 7 years. We've already gone through the 5 and 7 year jump in various times.
So did you guys, when it went up to like the $4 mark, did you guys instantly sell right away, or like did
We
space it out?
spaced it on the way up and on the way down. But throughout the years, I've had a theory of, and we've adopted it, a line in the sand. You know, when you're in the business for 40, 50 years like we've been, you see the ups and downs. You know you're going to have tough times. That's why you have to, if your employees know that and they work at that level, as constantly, doing what they do, it's everything averages out in the end. So, I mean, it's a matter of, if you look at markets today, you look at the stock market, it dropped, it went up, it dropped, it's going to drop, and the copper market's going to drop, the steel market's going to drop, but it's going to go up. So it's how you work within those parameters. can't get too excited one way and you can't get too excited the other. I mean, we went through some times where we didn't get a paycheck for a week. Our employees all got paid, but we had to take a couple of weeks, maybe till we had the right amount of cash in to get our sales done. So you have to make sacrifices from the management side. We did, but we always kept our employees top.
I think like Dan and Michael always say how like they like to keep like a good cash flow, and they like a good, and that's why they like having the 22 acres and keeping it organized, because like whenever stuff goes down or whatever, they just want to keep building the pile up.
Yeah.
I guess that's what, yeah. A lot of what you guys are saying, Dan and Michael definitely passed on to us. They definitely
Good.
they explained a lot that they learned. So
It definitely helps that we have such a large yard to keep metal, and we don't have to like get it out right away like some of the smaller yards that we've seen.
I've heard Dan said like before that some yards have to like buy a load and just get rid of it, like sell it as quick as they can so they can afford the next one.
Well, yeah.
We had them
Not
times.
so much,
We
yeah.
had them times when we had to sell to get paid off. I mean, maybe that's a tough time.
I know you talked. So you like back in the day, metal was pretty cheap, and then you said at one point it like turned around, and
Metal was, when we first came in, our parents had, well, it was only my dad that took care of the yard, so the metal was all thrown on our top. So I went after furnace to educate that 2 foot low faucet worth a lot more than 10. Number 1 steel, number 2 steel. So we cleaned out a section of the yard, and we even closed the yard at one time. You remember that? You came down and helped us burn. Everybody burned. We covered the port, we segregated different prices of different metals, and we kept working our way till we did the whole yard, which would have taken years. But we sorted it. We never told an employee how much the metal was worth, but we did tell every employee what's more valuable than the other, so they know how to separate it. So what we did is started different piles of cast iron, a couple different grades, steel, there's 4 or 5 different grades, punching, pulling material. There's so many different grades of material. We educated our employees so they could sort the piles. And then once we got ourselves organized, and then Mom started making calls to foundries, we started selling different, we had foundries 2 blocks away and 2 miles away that we could sell our 2 foot and under stuff, and our coolant material and different items.
Yeah. So we're lucky to have Anvil. That's what we always learn. Like we're lucky to have Anvil and Oscar right by us, because it like helps us compete on the stuff we cut with the torch. What? I don't know. I have 2 questions at the end here.
Let's have the end question.
let's hear it.
I got stuff to do here. So,
We're young. I guess obviously we're younger guys. What's your advice for someone our age?
Well, first of all, I don't like to see anybody walking around.
Wow. Yeah.
I was kind of anal. I had a pickup truck. I'd win and do whatever I had to do in the office, and I'd always be back in the yard with the guys. And when they seen my truck, they knew they better be working. So when I walk around the yard and whoever's walking, I'm thinking, wow, that's money going out the window. One time, I had to explain to one of my employees. He must have worked 4 hours out of 8. And the other 4 hours again. So I pulled him aside. I never reprimanded anybody in front of a crowd. I always pulled him individually. And I said, let me tell you something. For what you lose in a month of your hours, I could hire another man. So I think I got through to him, so he started being more active. People don't realize that as time goes on, that you're not doing anything, that's money lost. In our day, not today's world, in our day, we didn't have a man taking a 10-minute break in the morning, which we took hours for a lunch, and a 10-minute break in the afternoon. And I was really strict on that. It's a different atmosphere today. You guys are doing good. I'm proud of all of you for what you do. And I'm proud of Michael and Dan for what they do. It's just a different generation. So.
Do you have any advice for us, Rob?
Yeah, you know, if you take the big picture into consideration, and if you take the big picture every day, as I've been blessed to be able to keep working here, which I'm happy about. I've had some health issues, but I see that you can grow. You have to learn something every day. I learn something. I'm 75, and I can honestly say I learned something every day. And so my advice to you is, stay the course and treat every day as if it's our last day, because none of us are guaranteed. We've seen firsthand sudden death in our family a lot. And I mean, his dad and I worked together the night before he died from my brother's house. We worked together. He left at 8 o'clock at night, and I worked till 9 at his house. God rest his soul, he died that night. I was so taken back by that. And he's the one from Charlie. I was teaching school. He said, you gotta quit from here. So I respect him so much for that. And I'm thankful for our parents and whoever our generation before us. I'm extremely thankful for our employees. And I'm sure Dan and Michael will treat you the same way if you give them the same respect. Because you're just on a list of a tremendous group of guys who sweat and work and brought this company to where it is today.
I just look up the good work.
Yeah.
And you work for God, so you're really carrying the God's name. How you treat a customer, how you treat anybody else that you guys meet, for another person that has an industry, you are actually carrying the strong name of respect. So always take care.